How do you think you can find true happiness?
Well, you have to be, first thing, if you feel satisfied with whatever you get it, then you can rely on this happiness, buying Porsche or satellite TV or whatever. If you feel satisfied, then you can feel happy. But of course, here in the material world, some people really work hard, and then they believe that material things can give you the happiness, which, and then of course it solves some needs, and then they work their whole life, and then they achieve all these things, everything that material can bring them. For example, if you buy the TV and if you see all these different channels, maybe then it solves some comfort. So maybe, or a car, you buy a car and then you feel satisfied, and then you can feel happy. But if you keep on getting more and more, which happens, which is the result, after all, when you become billionaire, then you want to become multi-billionaire or something. So in a way, in the material world, the limit of the happiness behind the material things is finished, you know? So, and then people, and then after all they become greedy, they want more and more, and then they suffer more and more. And you are getting older also at the same time, and then you will die, and then you think it has been horrible, what did I achieve, you know, after all. So if you are satisfied right from the beginning, and you are happy there, so yeah, I think it's very that's why the Buddhist monks, they don't rely on this material happiness, because it's a short-term satisfying happiness, you know, we call it. We have Tibetan saying also that if you look for a small happiness, you won't achieve the bigger happiness. Bigger happiness, in a sense, enlightenment for a very biggest sense. And then the smaller things that you can be happy in the long term in your life, like if you try to feel happy with yourself, even if you can't, you try to practice each day, like 5 minutes, 6 minutes, like that, then you can try to feel, one day you will be feeling happy.
Can you experience the Buddhism like you experience it in India, here?
Well, here it's very much about practicing those little things that I have learned, because I'm not a scholar or anything, because I'm just a Tibetan guy who is being a Tibetan and living in Belgium, also integrating here to be more international guy. Yeah, or a Belgian, because I speak some Flemish also. Well, about believing in Buddhism, it's quite a challenge here, because I'm a single guy who is going here in this modern world, a big city, and when I go in the daytime, I meet 30 people. Sometimes, you know, mostly, or at least you meet 20 people who has some kind of stress. It's not I'm criticizing, but I think it's very fact, you know, because we have also many drawbacks in my culture, and here also. And when you have these 20 people or 30 people who are in stress, then for me it's a big challenge to practice how I can be not in stress in an environment like that, you know. And it's a big challenge, because that's why we Tibetan always pray, you know. they always, like my mother, she prays always when she die to be reborn in a good place with the right parents, in the right place, with the right friends and right teachers. So I think someone has to be very lucky to be born in such conditions and such situations. So if you are born in a, I don't know, in New York City, in a ghetto somewhere, you, in a, if there's a drug dealers or it's the whole environment is like that, and your parents tend to be like that kind of person, there's no option. So no matter how your karma has something like that connected, but your father, if your father says go and kill that guy, you know, and you are used to that environment, so in a way we always pray that such things don't happen. So it is very much to do with environment. So I don't I can understand many people here can be hard to practice many things like Buddhist philosophy says. Try to be patient. And well, of course, if you have a lot of challenge in life, how can you be patient? So, but I believe that if you try to do it like being patient, if you try today a little bit, maybe 5 minutes in today, and tomorrow you maybe 6 minutes, even though it's very little, and after a year you can do it maybe half an hour. So but it always builds, so it's very good to exercise these things, because I think one cannot be just like a Buddha right away. Even Buddha himself has born 2000
Yeah, it can
lifetimes.
take
Yeah.
a long time.